What's up, everybody? Curtis Wilkerson here with Inside Arkansas, coming to you with a special edition of the Pot at the Palace. It's a special edition because it's a special day. John Calipari and Arkansas basketball has added another commitment to the 2025 class in Springdale native Isaiah Sealy. Big one here for the Razorbacks. Recording this early Saturday because we know this commitment is likely coming either during the football game against Texas or in the middle of our post-game show, but had to make sure we had the content ready to roll for it. We're going to have more to come tomorrow. This is a good one, man. First in-state commitment for John Calipari since he got to Arkansas, and I love it. I think these hit a little bit different every time when you get a kid, from your own backyard. And it's interesting because, Cal said in his intro presser that obviously they recruit nationally. They go out and get the best of the best. We all know this. This is no surprise with what Cal has done and his track record in high school recruiting. But he did say if there's a kid in the backyard who is good enough, they're going to go get him. And well done. Arkansas did that. And I think it's a good omen for the future with guys like J.J. Andrews, who Sealy's playing this evening, by the way, Jacob Lanier, Aiden Chronister in the 2026 class, and more. The in-state talent is it's coming. It's coming in a hurry. And so to go ahead and lock down one within the walls of the natural state's a big deal for Arkansas here moving forward. Sealy chooses the Razorbacks over Ole Miss, Boston College, and Cal, not Coach Cal, but Cal the school, right? It's so funny, man. We had an interesting day yesterday. We had a pretty good idea that Sealy was choosing Arkansas leading up to this, but especially about noon on Friday because we were setting up for Inside Arkansas Live at Alumni Hall down on College in Fayetteville. In walks Isaiah Sealy. He just comes strolling in to get some Razorback gear for his commitment ceremony. So that was a good tell. I started to go up there and talk to him, but I didn't want to bother him. And I also didn't want to say anything too much about it on the show because you don't want to ruin the moment that a young man has. I know people maybe expected that he wanted to stick around home and represent the Razorbacks, but that's his choice and his moment to have. So glad that he was able to kind of see a dream come true. So it's very cool. And also, like, I figured if he was going to Boston College or something, he would have just gone to like Walmart or the gas station for a Razorback hat or whatever, just to have it on the table for the choice. So like, if you're at Alumni Hall, you mean business, you know what I'm saying? So look, this is a good player though. Okay. Don't get it twisted. This is not just some courtesy in-state favor. No, by no means. Isaiah Sealy might not be the 5-star national name that Arkansas fans have kind of become spoiled by or grown accustomed to here lately, but do not let that fool you into thinking that this young man doesn't have a bright future as a Razorback. I absolutely love this get for the Hogs. He is a consensus 4-star prospect in the 2025 class. He ranks as high as 55th nationally at ESPN, comes in at 70th overall at the 24/7 composite, 69th in the On3 industry rankings, which that's just kind of a compilation of all the major recruiting services, right? So 24/7, On3, Rivals, ESPN, and you kind of take the average there. So consensus top 70 prospect, that's pretty good. Number 1 player in the state of Arkansas, that's pretty good. Sealy's every bit of 6'6", 6'7". I found that out yesterday standing next to him. True wing. He's not real thin either. He's got a good frame on him, probably pushing close to 200. I mean, he's probably 190 plus at this point, and that's good for a high school senior. Put up crazy numbers at Springdale last season as a junior. Where are his stats at? Let me pull those up real quick because he was getting buckets, man. Sealy averaged 28.2 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 1.2 steals per game. He was all state, all conference, just a big time player. And then he backed it up with Next Page Force, team ad on the EYBL. Had some good showings there over the course of the summer. This is a good player. And he opened up his senior season at Springdale with a bang. And if you haven't seen the viral clip so far since it happened last week, you're going to see it right now. This is really impressive. Let's take a look.
Sealy with a dunk. Ball taken away there by Jackson Conley. Side comes away with it to Sealy. Oh, my goodness. Isaiah Sealy with a dunk.
My goodness. We're going to look at it one more time just because that's really impressive. And it just kind of gives you a glimpse into the type of athleticism he brings to the table.
Ball taken away there by Jackson Conley. Side comes away with it to Sealy. Oh, my goodness. Isaiah Sealy with a dunk.
Young man found himself on a poster. That's tough, man. But hey, that's what you're getting for the Razorbacks. I mean, a really impressive slam there. Anytime you can get a poster on anybody, that those viral moments, man, it lives forever. And you'd rather be the one delivering the poster as opposed to receiving it. So good on him. I really like Sealy as a prospect. I do. Has the measurables, like we mentioned, pretty versatile too. Now he's skilled. You look for guys who are, his size in that range, who can dribble, pass, and shoot. He's honestly Eric Musselman's dream, like the 6'6", 6'7" wing who can guard multiple positions and do multiple things. But I bet John Calipari likes those guys too. He has a lot of, I think, 3-and-D wing traits that are translatable to the college game, but he's got some real playmaking upside too. You saw his explosion there in the clip. He can take contact pretty well and finish through it, which is good. And that kind of goes to the size and the frame that he has. He's comfortable putting it on the deck and handling it as a secondary ball handler. I think he's got good vision at his position, maybe an underrated passer, and then a guy who is switchable. He can guard multiple positions. And then obviously at his size on the wing, he can really compete there on the glass. So pretty good. Now, ranking wise for him, if you just look at him comparatively speaking, like this, is he up there with, Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff, or even, Boogie and those guys last year? No, not quite. But he's in a higher range now. He's up there with like the Darian Fords, Leighton Blockers, Jalen Williams, even kind of in that range of where they were going into their senior year of high school. So no slouch here by any means. I think the range for Isaiah Sealy, I think you've made a very bottom range. I think you've made a very clear and undeniable upgrade at like that 10th man spot for Arkansas with the way Calipari's building his rosters, with a guy who's, probably better served than what you have right now when it comes to getting some early looks, and someone who could absolutely be a kind of a key piece to the operation as he continues to develop, which is good. Or you could have one of these, tier 1A, so not the top of the top, but like kind of that next line of guys who pops early. And one of the reasons that he might do that is because he has the frame and the size for it already. I think he's a little bit more skilled than maybe he's getting credit for. I think he might be a little bit better than what we're seeing in the rankings. I know he played some on the EYBL, but when you're playing, not on one of those national circuits, like he can go to Link or Montverde or IMG or anything like that. He stayed at home in Springdale. So for a large majority of his basketball that's being played, you're really not seeing a whole lot of them if you're a national evaluator or a scout. And I think if they were, like if he was on one of those scales, if he went up to hell, Link right up the road like Jordan Walsh did or whoever, he might be valued a little bit higher than he is, but we'll see. But I really think he could be a guy who pops a little bit more than people are expecting early on. And part of the reason why is because being a Razorback, it means something a little bit different to a kid who's from right up the road. He probably grew up watching the Razorbacks, and going to the games and enjoying that. And, being in the backyard, pretending you were in Bud Walton Arena. We know how it hits a little bit different. I'm really happy to see Coach Cal get a native of the state of Arkansas onto his roster. Didn't have it this year. Really weren't many opportunities for it unless he would have retained Blocker or Devo or something, because it wasn't a big time class from the recruiting standpoint. In 2024, I know Honor Boateng went to Missouri, but there wasn't really a lot there for him. But in his first opportunity with a full year to recruit in this cycle, he goes out and gets a kid from the natural state, which is good. So now Arkansas has 3 commitments at this point in the 2025 class. Darius Acuff, obviously the top point guard in the country. Malik Thomas, the top 2 in the country. And then Isaiah Sealy. So you got a point guard, a 2 guard, and a wing so far. So you've kind of taken care of the backcourt now. This should move Arkansas into the top 5 unanimously in the recruiting rankings. Could be as high as 2 or 3 in a lot of these. They all operate a little bit differently. Sometimes they go by like average commit ranking, like player ranking. Those Arkansas will be super, super high in. Some of them go on kind of volume. So you'll see some schools who might not have the high-end talent that Arkansas has in this class, but they've already got 4 or 5 guys committed, and they're ranked higher, even though Arkansas probably has the better players, if that makes a little bit of sense. But I think they should be fairly consensus top 5 here once these things shake out. Now, what is next? Well, stay tuned for that, because our next video that's going to come out bright and early Sunday morning, we do this series every single morning at 8 a.m. We have basketball content. That one is going to be about what's next. We're going to dive into exactly that. But I think for the high school, we're going to have a little bit of a wait before we see any more commitments there. 1, maybe 2 tops from that front. Then I think we're looking at the portal, but we'll dive into some names in the morning. This one was all about Isaiah Sealy and his commitment to Arkansas. Good get for Cal, good get for the Razorbacks, and a feel-good moment for the basketball program here. So happy for him, wish him all the best, and looking forward to covering him. But we're going to get out of here for now because you guys are going to be watching this after the football game, but I got a football game that I got to get ready to cover here. So appreciate everybody for tuning in as always. Make sure you get subscribed to the Inside Arkansas YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. We'd really appreciate that. Check out InsideArkansas.com for all the latest on our written content. And we will be back with you bright and early in the morning. So for Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas on the Pod at the Palace, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a good